Hello and welcome to Talk About, where today we talk about Splatoon. And prior to this game, Nintendo could rightly have been criticised with the Wii U for resting on their laurels with its software, just putting out iterative sequels and releases, such as the Mario games, where it wasn't really a big revolution like Galaxy had during the Wii's time. But then, out of nowhere comes a new IP in a different genre outside their usual standards of the big IPs. And despite this, they produced a fantastic shooter and one of my favourite games of last year. And with this game, they also did their own thing with the way they handled multiplayer content, which is the subject of this video. So, without further ado, let's rock.
Talk about Splatoon and multiplayer content delivery.
So, there's two key things that Splatoon does differently with its multiplayer content delivery, which set it apart. The first of which involves how it handled releasing content. On launch, Splatoon had only 5 maps and 1 mode available for multiplayer, which did cause some people to question its value. However, since then, 9 more maps, another mode, and extra weapon types have been released as free updates, with some of the earlier updates potentially being intentionally held back. What this means is that while people may have questioned its value at launch, since then, the value has only increased as time has gone on. This does a few things. For one, it maintains price, as it becomes increasingly enticing to potential new buyers, and the longevity of the title is increased for early adopters as well, discouraging them from selling the game on. And, as these updates are free, these early adopters don't feel punished for doing so, unlike some Game of the Year Edition style releases, where later adopters get a better product than those who got it early. Also, due to this pacing of content releases, the game keeps a consistently high player base number, ensuring the servers don't just die off like a repetitive novelty, i.e. what happened to Evolve. And the fact that all its DLC updates are free ensures that the player base doesn't become split further. Again, a very different approach compared to Evolve's DLC practices. This is very useful as it ensures there's always others to play against, and you don't have massive waits to get enough players for a game. Personally, I think this is an often overlooked factor with online games, and probably a key part in how COD maintains its popularity. After all, it's so popular you don't have to worry about whether you'll be able to find the match or not. The other unique thing Splatoon does is restrict what is available for a player. What it does is make it so that only 2 maps are available per mode at any time, rotating I believe every 4 hours. By funneling players through a limited number of options, it ensures it's easy to find other players, reducing the waiting time, as again the player base is all together and not split. I suppose another reason for doing this is possibly to help out new players, as veterans can't just keep practicing on any particular map and mastering it, as well as discouraging people from quitting when in a match if they don't get the map they want. The obvious potential drawback is one of repetition, as you do end up playing the same maps over and over again within a session. Personally, I didn't have any problem with it, though I am aware that I tend to have a higher tolerance for repetition in games. Well, thanks for watching, and of course the main important thing about Splatoon is that it's fun. And if you are having fun, well, that's all that splatters.